The police dog suddenly lunged forward. His paws scraped against the airport floor as he pulled hard on the leash, ears stiff, eyes locked on a little girl moving through the crowd. The officer grabbed the leash with both hands, confused and tense. Did this story touch your heart? Give it a thumbs up, share it around, and drop your location in the comments. The girl looked back for 1 second. Her face was pale. Her lips trembled. But she did not speak. She quickly hid one hand behind her coat. The German Shepherd froze, then let out a low whine. People walked past like nothing was wrong. But the dog knew something they didn't. The officer tightened his grip on the leash, trying to calm the dog. "Easy. What is it?" He whispered, but the German Shepherd didn't respond. Instead, the dog leaned forward again, body tense, eyes still locked on the girl as she walked beside a woman. The girl's steps were slow, almost forced. Her shoulders were stiff. The woman beside her held her wrist tightly, pulling her through the moving crowd. The dog let out another sharp whine and tried to move again. This time stronger. The officer felt it clearly now. This wasn't random behavior. This was a warning. He looked closer. The girl didn't look up. She didn't speak. But something about her silence felt loud. Too loud. The dog suddenly stopped pulling and sat down. But his eyes never left her. Then, slowly, his ears twitched. And he growled. The low growl made the officer's chest tighten. He had worked with this police dog for years. This wasn't aggression. This was detection. The officer followed the dog's gaze again. The girl glanced back. Just for a second. But this time, he saw it clearly. Her eyes didn't match her situation. There was no curiosity, no comfort, only fear. Raw, silent fear. The dog suddenly stood up again, tail stiff, muscles locked. He barked once. Sharp, loud. The woman stopped and turned, clearly annoyed. "Control your dog," she snapped, pulling the girl closer. The girl stumbled slightly. The officer noticed it. That small stumble, that hesitation. The dog stepped forward again, ignoring the command to stay. He moved closer, slower this time, careful, focused. The officer felt something shift inside him. This wasn't just a strange moment anymore. Something was wrong. Very wrong. And the dog wasn't letting it go. The officer stepped forward, his eyes now fixed on the girl. The dog moved with him, slow but determined. The crowd noise faded in his ears. All he could see now was her. The girl kept walking, but her breathing looked uneven. Her shoulders rose and fell too fast. The woman tightened her grip again. "Keep moving," she whispered sharply. The dog suddenly stopped again. Then sat. Then stood. Restless. Like something was building inside him. The officer narrowed his eyes. "What are you seeing?" Then it happened. For just 1 second, the girl's hand slipped out behind her back. Her fingers moved. Quick, intentional, not random. The officer froze. He had seen that before. Training sessions, emergency signals. But before he could react, the girl quickly hid her hand again. The dog let out a louder whine. This time, almost desperate. The officer's heart started beating faster. That wasn't nothing. That was a message. And the dog had seen it first. The officer's eyes stayed locked on the girl's back. His mind raced. Was that really a signal, or just his imagination? The crowd moved faster around them now. People bumped shoulders, dragging luggage, talking loudly. No one noticed anything. No one stopped. The girl kept walking, head slightly down, steps uneven. The woman beside her looked calm on the outside. But her grip was tight. Too tight. The dog suddenly pulled again, harder than before. This time, almost breaking free. A deep bark echoed across the terminal. Heads turned. But only for a second. Then everyone moved on again. The officer exhaled slowly. Something inside him shifted. This wasn't normal. This wasn't safe. The dog wasn't overreacting. He was trying to show something. The officer took a step forward, then another, following them now, not stopping, not questioning. The dog moved ahead slightly, leading the way, focused, determined, as if he already knew the truth. And the officer was just catching up. The officer followed them through the crowd, his pace steady but alert. The police dog walked slightly ahead now, nose low, tracking every step the girl took. This wasn't just sight anymore. He was scenting something. The girl slowed down near a seating area. For a moment, it looked like she wanted to stop. But the woman pulled her forward again. "No stopping," she muttered. The officer noticed it instantly. That wasn't care. That was control. The dog suddenly shifted direction. He moved to the side, trying to circle closer. Testing. Watching. The officer allowed a little slack in the leash, trusting him. The girl's hand moved again. Quick, behind her back. The same motion, clearer this time. The officer's heart pounded. That was not random. That was a signal. The dog stopped walking. Then sat again. But this time, he stared directly at the officer, as if saying, "You see it now." The officer took a deep breath and stepped forward. The police dog moved faster this time, pulling ahead with sudden force. Before the officer could stop him, the dog planted himself directly in front of the girl and the woman, blocking their path. The woman froze, clearly irritated. "What are you doing? Move this dog." She snapped, her voice sharp. The officer raised a hand calmly. Just a moment. But the dog didn't move. Not even an inch. His body was stiff. Eyes locked on the girl. The girl looked down at him. Her lips trembled again. The woman tried to step around. The dog shifted instantly, blocking her again. Now the tension was visible. People nearby slowed down, watching. The officer's heart was racing. This wasn't normal behavior. The dog was making a decision. A strong one. The girl's hand twitched slightly behind her back again. And this time, the dog let out a low, warning growl. The growl made the woman stiffen. "Control your dog right now," she said louder, her voice shaking with anger. But the officer didn't move. His eyes were no longer on the dog. They were on the girl. The girl slowly lifted her head. Her eyes met his for the first time, and in that moment, everything changed. There was no confusion in her face, no curiosity, only fear. Deep, silent fear. The dog stepped closer to her, not aggressive, careful, gentle. He lowered his head slightly, watching her hand. The girl's fingers moved again, behind her back, slow this time, clear, deliberate. The officer felt a chill run through his body. That was a signal. He was sure now. The woman suddenly pulled the girl harder. "Let's go," she snapped, trying to move forward. But the dog stepped in again, blocking them, stronger this time. The crowd started to notice. People slowed down. Whispers began. The girl didn't move, she just stood there, frozen. And the dog stayed right in front of her, as if refusing to let her disappear. The officer stepped closer, his voice calm but firm. "Is everything okay here?" The woman forced a quick smile. "Yes, of course. My daughter is just tired," she said, pulling the girl slightly behind her. The girl didn't react, didn't speak, didn't even look at her. The dog moved again, slow, focused. He stepped to the side, positioning himself next to the girl, not the woman. The officer noticed that instantly. The dog never made mistakes like that, never. The girl's hand slipped out again. This time longer. Her fingers formed a shape, clear, recognizable. The officer's eyes widened. He had seen that signal before. Training videos. Emergency cases. A silent cry for help. His heartbeat spiked. The dog barked once. Loud. Sharp, like confirmation. The woman's face changed for a split second, the smile vanished. and something darker appeared. Then she grabbed the girl tighter and tried to walk away fast. "Wait." The officer's voice cut through the noise. Firm, controlled. The woman stopped, but only for a second. Then she turned, forcing another smile. "Yes, officer?" The dog stepped forward instantly, now standing between them, blocking again. This time closer, closer than before. The girl flinched as the woman tightened her grip. Too tight. The officer saw it clearly now. "Can I ask her something?" he said calmly. The woman hesitated. Just a second. But it was enough. The dog growled again. Low, warning. The girl slowly looked up, her eyes filled with tears. The officer crouched slightly. Soft voice. "What's your name?" The girl opened her mouth, but no words came out. The woman interrupted quickly. "She's just shy." The dog suddenly moved. Fast. He stepped right next to the girl and gently pressed against her leg. Protective. The girl's hand moved again behind her back. Slower this time. Clearer. The officer didn't look away. He understood now. This wasn't confusion anymore. This was real. And the dog had been right from the beginning. The officer stood up slowly. His hand moved toward his radio. And the woman's eyes widened. The woman's eyes darted to the officer's hand on the radio. For a second, panic flashed across her face. "Is there a problem?" she asked quickly, her voice no longer calm. The officer didn't answer. His focus stayed on the girl. The dog moved again, this time gently. He nudged the girl's arm with his nose. Soft, careful, not fear, comfort. The girl looked down at him. Her lips trembled. Then her body shifted slightly closer to the dog, away from the woman. That small movement said everything. The officer saw it. The dog saw it first. The woman noticed it too. And her grip tightened instantly. "Stay close," she whispered sharply. The dog stepped between them again, blocking, protecting. The tension snapped tighter. The officer crouched again, lowering his voice. "You're safe," he said softly. The girl's eyes filled with tears. Her fingers moved again behind her back, slower now, but clear. The same signal, the same message. The dog let out a low, steady growl, not loud, but firm. The officer nodded slightly. He understood now. Completely. And the woman? She suddenly took a step back, as if preparing to run. The woman's foot shifted back again, then another step. Slow, careful, like she was testing an escape. The officer stood up straight. "Don't move," he said firmly. His voice changed now. No more doubt, no more hesitation. The dog reacted instantly. He stepped forward, placing himself fully between the girl and the woman, blocking her completely. The girl gasped softly. Her body leaned toward the dog, seeking safety. The woman's face hardened. "This is ridiculous," she snapped. "She's my daughter." The officer didn't respond. He looked at the girl. "Look at me," he said gently. The girl hesitated. Then slowly, she did. Tears rolled down her cheeks. The dog nudged her again, encouraging, protecting. "You can tell me," the officer whispered. The girl's lips shook. Her voice came out broken. I don't know her." Everything stopped. The noise. The crowd. The movement. The woman's face went pale. The dog barked once. Loud. Clear. Like he had been waiting for this moment. And now, the truth was finally out. The words hit like a shockwave. "I don't know her." The officer stepped forward instantly. "Step away from the child," he said, voice sharp now. The woman's calm completely broke. "You're misunderstanding." She snapped, grabbing the girl's arm again. But the dog reacted faster. He lunged forward, not to attack, but to block. His body slammed between them, pushing the woman back. The girl stumbled free. She moved instantly, straight behind the dog, hiding. The officer saw it, that natural instinct, that fear, that truth. The woman looked around. Her breathing got faster. The crowd was watching now. Phones coming out. Whispers rising. The pressure was building. "Ma'am, step back," the officer warned again. But she didn't listen. She pulled her arm away and turned, suddenly trying to push through the crowd. "Run." The dog's ears snapped forward, and in the next second, he moved. The dog exploded into motion, fast, focused. He sprinted through the crowd, weaving between people with precision. The woman tried to push past strangers, panic written all over her face. "Move," she shouted. But it was too late. The dog cut her off, jumping in front of her again, blocking her escape. She stopped suddenly, stumbling back. The officer rushed forward, closing the distance. "Stay where you are," he ordered. The woman's hands shook. Her eyes searched for a way out. But there was none. The dog stood firm, growling low, unmoving. The girl watched from behind, trembling, tears still falling. The officer grabbed the woman's arm, firm, controlled. She resisted for a second, then froze. The dog stepped closer, still watching her, still alert. The officer looked at the girl again. "Come here," he said softly. The girl hesitated, then slowly walked toward him. But she didn't go to the officer first. She went to the dog and held on to him tightly, as if he was the only one she trusted. The woman suddenly twisted her arm, hard, trying to break free. The officer tightened his grip instantly. "Stop," he shouted. But she didn't listen. She shoved forward, trying one last desperate push through the crowd. People gasped and stepped back. The tension exploded. The dog reacted in a flash. He moved faster than anyone could think, cutting across her path again, blocking, forcing her to stop. She stumbled, losing balance for a second. That was enough. The officer pulled her back and pinned her arms, controlled, firm. She struggled, but weaker now, defeated. The dog stood right in front of her, still, watching, making sure she didn't move again. Behind them, the girl broke down, crying openly now, her body shaking. The officer looked back at her. "It's okay," he said softly. But she didn't move toward him. She stayed close to the dog, holding his fur tightly, as if letting go might not be safe yet. And the dog didn't move either. He stayed right there with her. The officer secured the woman's hands behind her back, tight, controlled, no escape now. Her resistance faded into silence. The crowd grew louder, whispers turning into shock. "What just happened?" someone said. The dog slowly stepped back from the woman, but his eyes didn't leave her, still watching, still guarding. Then he turned, walked straight to the girl, calm now, gentle. The girl dropped to her knees and wrapped her arms around him, holding him tightly, crying harder. "You're safe now," the officer said softly. His voice carried reassurance but also relief. The girl nodded weakly, still holding onto the dog. The officer spoke into his radio. "Suspect detained, possible abduction attempt." The words felt heavy, real. The dog sat beside the girl, close, protective, like he wasn't done yet, like he knew she still needed him. The noise around them slowly settled. Police arrived. More officers moved in, taking control of the scene. The woman was taken away, her face now empty. No more lies, no more control. The girl stayed where she was, still holding the dog, her fingers gripping his fur like she was afraid he might disappear. The dog didn't move. He stayed close, leaning slightly into her, calm, steady. The officer knelt beside her again. "You're safe now," he repeated softly. This time, she believed it. She nodded slowly, tears still falling, but softer now. The dog gently licked her hand. A small moment, but powerful. The girl let out a shaky breath. For the first time, her body relaxed. Just a little. The officer looked at his dog. Pride, respect, gratitude. Because without him, this moment would have never happened. And the girl, she wouldn't be safe right now. The girl slowly stood up. Her hand never left the dog. She stayed close to him as if he was her shield. Paramedics arrived, speaking gently, checking her condition. But she didn't respond much. Her eyes stayed on the dog. The officer watched quietly. He understood. Trust like that doesn't come easy. It was earned. The dog sat beside her, calm, still, but alert, always alert. One of the paramedics smiled softly. He saved her, she said. The officer nodded. Yes, he did. The girl finally spoke again, very softly. I tried to tell someone. Her voice broke. No one saw. The officer felt that deeply. But the dog moved his head slightly, looking up at her, as if answering. I saw. The girl hugged him again. Tighter this time, not out of fear, but gratitude. Around them, people watched in silence. Now they understood what almost happened, and who stopped it. The officer placed a hand on the dog's back. You did good, he whispered. The dog didn't react. He didn't need praise. He had already done what mattered. He listened, when no one else did. And because of that, a life was saved.